Hey everybody, and welcome to I Speak Organized. Today's video is going to be a continuation of my series on how I started my professional organizing business, and I'm going to be covering the topic of the legal aspects of starting your business. And I'm just going to be sharing my personal experience with some of the things that I encountered as I was going through the legal process of setting up my business. And I know that this can be a very overwhelming and kind of daunting topic to consider, especially if you are a brand new business owner or you're just thinking about starting your own business and you've never done that before. So I wanted to share with you some of the things that I did, the steps that I took, and how it wasn't as bad as I thought it was once I started the process. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, then stick around and let's get into it. My name is Melanie and I'm your professional organizer and productivity consultant. What does that even mean? Hey everybody, and welcome back to I Speak Organized. If you don't know me, my name is Melanie and I'm your professional organizer and productivity consultant. I help hardworking families and professionals find form in their space and purpose for every phase of life. And if you are into all things home organizing as well as decluttering and motivation techniques and productivity practices, then you should definitely consider becoming a member of my speaker fam. All you have to do is hit the little circle icon of my face or tap the little subscribe button down in the corner, and that will make you an official subscriber, and know that I would be honored to have you on board as part of the speaker fam. Okay, also be sure to hit the thumbs up and tap the little notification bell so that you never miss another opportunity to see a new video when I post each week. Also, I'm obligated to tell you that I am not sponsored by any of the companies that I'm going to be discussing with you in this video, and very importantly, I am not a legal professional. The information that I'm sharing with you should not be misinterpreted as professional legal advice. So do your due diligence, do your research, and find a professional that you can speak with before you make any legal decisions for your own business. Good luck. The first thing that I want to address is how I chose to set up my business entity. And if you don't know what that is, it's really just sort of setting up the back end of how your business is going to function in terms of taxes and liability. And there are two really common types, and I'm going to do my best to describe them and the differences between them, pros and cons, so that you can sort of go in the direction that you feel is the most appropriate for your business needs. So the two common types are a sole proprietorship and an LLC. And a sole proprietorship, to my understanding, is the easiest and most cost-effective business entity to start. There's no separate business taxes to file for with a sole proprietorship. The biggest drawback to a sole proprietorship is the fact that your personal assets and your business liability is not separate. So that means if you're in the middle of a lawsuit, if somebody is trying to sue you, they have access to your personal assets should they win against you in court. And if you have an LLC, your business liability is separate, so they can't really touch your personal assets in that circumstance, as long as you are following through and making sure that you really are keeping your business and your personal finances completely separate. That's why I chose, one of the reasons why I chose an LLC. The other reason why I chose an LLC was because it has a bit more flexibility in how you're able to scale your business. So the drawbacks to having an LLC are that it's just a little bit more complicated in terms of paperwork and what you have to file every year in order to stay compliant. I would recommend getting in touch with a certified tax accountant when you're starting out doing all of that stuff. And both with a sole proprietorship and an LLC, you should be setting aside money from every single nickel and dime that comes into your account. You should be setting aside a portion of that for taxes. And the percentage is going to be different for everybody depending on what tax bracket you fit into. If you're filing jointly with a a partner if you're married, or if you're single. So those are all questions that you're going to want to keep track of and talk to a legal professional about. I know that that sounds so crazy and intense, and I'm going to share with you what I did going through this process when I encountered feeling that way. I went ahead and set up a Business Advantage subscription with LegalZoom. And what that enables you to do is have an unlimited number of 30-minute consultations with lawyers and tax professionals in your state. So that was invaluable to me for the first 3 to 6 months when I was setting up my LLC. And what I did was just keep a running log of questions when I was going through the process of setting things up, and deciding what business license I needed, what endorsements I needed, and I'll go through all that in a little bit. And if I just had any general questions about the difference between different business entities, like we talked about earlier, it's $216 every 6 months. And for the amount of money that if you were going through like an independent law firm and you're paying a lawyer by the hour, that is going to add up. And so the price for that to me seemed like really low and very reasonable, and I was able to get all of the questions answered that I needed. So that is something that I would highly recommend having at your disposal, at least for the setup process. And then I ended up keeping that membership going because, I'm about ready to start filing my taxes, and I want to make sure that I can get my questions answered before, I send in my final tax return or I hire a CPA or whatever. Like, I just want to make sure that I can be as clear about all the details as possible. The other awesome thing about setting up your business through LegalZoom is that they can file all the paperwork for you to actually set up the business entity for you, and that's exactly what I did. Once I chose that I was going to be going the LLC route, I filled out all the information for them to then go ahead and fill out my articles of incorporation, my operating agreement, and plug in all my information for the necessary paperwork. And they filed it all with the Department of Revenue in my state. And it was super easy, and it was a bit of an expense. I don't remember exactly how much it ended up costing, but I would say for all the work that they put in addition to the fees that you'll be paying to your state for setting up the business, it was a few $100. And I would say it was well worth it to know that everything was filed properly. I didn't have to refile anything and pay extra money for making mistakes, as somebody who had never done that before. So it definitely was good peace of mind, in my opinion, to set it up that way. So the next thing that's going to happen is your Department of Revenue is going to be sending you your business certificate, telling you that your business has been officially formed, and then they will send you the next steps that you need to take. And typically, at least in my experience, what that is you'll be getting your business license. And that's a really super easy process, and I believe that's something that LegalZoom can do for you as well. But I was able to find through my own state government websites how to do it myself, and it was, in my opinion, far easier and cheaper than setting up the actual back end of the business. So I just filled out the form electronically through my state government website for the business license, and if I ever had any questions, I was able to call their office and speak to a representative. Easy peasy, no problem. It was like $20, and I received the little white and blue business license in the mail. Just be sure to know that it's one of those things that needs to be renewed annually. So just keep on the up and up with the date that you receive it and then when it needs to be refiled next year. The other thing that you want to consider, especially if you live in a big city, is you're going to want to file for city endorsement. In my case, I live in Vancouver, Washington, so I had to file for a city endorsement for Vancouver, and that was really easy. Again, I was able to do it through the business license state government website and pay the $19 and get that endorsement added to my business license. That is a good place to stop. And I really hope that you found this useful and that maybe you're feeling a little bit more confident and a little less freaked out about getting started with the legal aspects of starting your business. It is definitely a process, but it doesn't have to be a super scary one, and you just need to take it one step at a time. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, if you got value out of this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and becoming a member of the Speaker Fam, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.